Hello, hello, hello. Hey guys. Oh, zero. Sorry if I am coming on so late because I got a bunch of questions today and I decided I will go live so we can address this. So I'd like to see if our audio is fine. Please give me a thumbs up if our audio is fine. Let's do some audio check. It's probably this is only for like 30-minute live for today because it's getting late here in the Philippines. But I really wanted to address this question because I receive a lot in our Facebook page and Instagram. So I wanted to reassure everybody with regards to this question. Is the Philippines going on lockdown again? So come on in for this discussion. Nova, hello. Eaton Squad, hello. Nova PH. Hello, host. Hello, Ate Verge. Kumusta na, host? Eto, busy har pa rin, ate. It's good. From Rocky Stetson. Thank you so much. Audio is good. Yep. Thank you so much for confirming. Is the Philippines ever gonna move on or always lockdown? It's 2022 already. The world moved on, but the Philippines still thinks it's 2020. That is actually true. But for like I said, I received quite a bit of inquiry with regards to this concern that will the Philippines going on lockdown again. To be honest, it's not going to happen just yet. Keyword is yet. But I don't really see the Philippines is going to go on lockdown again because I think the Philippines has learned how to deal with the COVID situation somehow. And the lockdown is going to be the last resort if everything fails. But I don't really see the Philippines going on lockdown ever again. Manila is on alert level 3. That is actually, if you base it, level 5 is the strictest. Level 4 is next to that. Level 3 is in the middle. So their capacity when it comes to restaurants and stuff is now down to 30% and 50% for al fresco. This is for outside dining. So that's pretty much what they are doing. And they're not talking about doing lockdowns again and stuff. And I wanted to at peace everybody that there will be no lockdown anytime soon unless they have changed their minds on it that they are going to impose lockdown. But like I said, I think the Philippines has already learned somehow to, as much as possible, avoid implementing lockdowns anytime soon. And the vaccination rollout that the Philippine government is doing is actually helping. So I don't really think they are going to, do lockdowns. And for Miss Nova, yes, I think the Philippines is way behind. If you look at the health perspective of it, it's it might make sense in some aspect because the Philippines is a third world country, I think. And like the president said, we don't really have a whole lot of money anymore to, you know, uh, to finance if ever we'll have another surge again. So that would be scary. So I think that's what they are doing. But I completely agree with you, Nova, on that. Hi, how are you? Hey, Andy, how are you? Gusto kong umuwi. Uwi ka na, Ate Verge. 5 days na lang ang quarantine. Konti na yan. Hello, hey. Ilang araw ang quarantine pag galing green list country? 3 days. 3 days for fully vaccinated, 7 days for unvaccinated. It's not anybody's fault that you may have to go back into lockdown first. And foremost, you must protect the people, and then after you can let people back for holidays through as much as I want to. That is actually true, Philly. I actually like one of your comments in my video when it comes to those absentee quarantine, those quarantine violators that you said you have connections in the Philippine government, but you don't take advantage of using it just to skip quarantine. And thank you for doing that, because here in the Philippines, connections under the table is very rampant. I myself is guilty of that, because sometimes when I need to process something and I will really want to, and I don't really want to go through the hassle, then I will pay. I will pay that extra money for that extra service, so I don't have to stand in line, wait for a day or two to process a certain document over here. That actually really works in the Philippines, but that's a different aspect though. But when it comes to health, that's way different also. Skipping quarantine is no good because it's implemented by the Philippine government. But you can't also blame those travelers who are going to undergo quarantine. Quarantine is no fun, no, it's not a joke. So both sides has its own point. So any idea when the tourists will open? That I don't really know, because of Omicron. It's Omicron, the typhoon, everything is delayed. May nag-a-assist ba ng non-OFW? Yes, meron naman sa airport. May nag-a-assist po. PH wants to protect its citizens, but Omicron is much weaker, just upper respiratory like cold. Hopefully, if Omicron is dominant, they can open for international travel. You have to remember, the Philippines is not as high-tech as the US. I'm not trying to defend the Philippine government, but the Delta variant had really put back the Philippines when it comes to responding COVID-19 situations. Hospitals were full, we really had the worst surge with Delta. And I think what they are trying to do is avoid that to happen again with Omicron. It's better to be overly prepared than less prepared with this type of variant. So you may be right that it's just an upper respiratory like cold, but that is still a virus that nobody really knows what it could do to a particular person. So that's probably why they're doing it. After the current wave, PH should not panic about Omicron. Time to open. Only the Philippine government can tell on that. When are they going to open? Fully vaccine na po ako. Ilang araw ay pabook ko ng hotel. Where are you coming from? Francia? You said green list? For fully vaccinated, 3 days po. 3 days po ang quarantine. Yung i-book nyo po is 3 nights and 4 days, kasi ang hotel, they count their booking by night. So mag-book ka ng 3 nights kasi yung swab test mo is on the third day. Hindi mo naman alam kung what time lalabas ang result. So you book 3 nights and 4 days. 2 vaccinations kahit walang booster shot, considered fully vaccinated na po. Yes, so far naman, hindi pa kinoconsider ng Philippines having the booster shot for you to be fully vaccinated. So 2 vaccines pa rin yung reference nila to be fully vaccinated. First dose and second dose. 14 days after you had your second dose, then you will be considered fully vaccinated. Kuwait po, green list. Let me check Kuwait, if Kuwait is on the green list. Do you have any optimism for possible reopening in the spring? Like I've mentioned in my previous videos before, I could really see the Philippines opening as early as March or as late as April. So but please don't like religiously follow it, because those are just predictions. And still the IATF is going to decide for it. Kuwait. Yep, Kuwait is on the green list. So if you are fully vaccinated coming from the green list, your quarantine will be 3 days, 3 nights, and 4 days. Your swab test will be on the third day. So, any more questions? Well, I will have 30 minutes for this. So we have 22 minutes more before I wrap this up. So ask away and I will answer as much as I can. Is it possible to marry online then apply for a 9A visa? Actually, yes. We have quite a bit of subscribers that went through the wedding route and applied for the 9A visa. Actually, the process would that be do the online wedding, report your marriage, apply for the report of marriage at the jurisdiction where you got married, then apply for the 9A visa. The quarantine is useful against Omicron. You will get it anyway. That is true. Saan po ako pwede mag-book ng hotel kasi na Francia, may in-upload ako 2 days ago. I think that was no, actually that was today. I uploaded today highly recommended hotels for quarantine. So i-check nyo po yung video na yon kasi highly recommended po yun ng mga umuwi na ng Pilipinas at nakapag-stay dun sa hotel during their quarantine. I-check nyo po yung video natin today na na-upload ko sa highly recommended hotel. Hello po from Richmond Hotel Eastwood. 5th day quarantine, 1 day left. Health pass is important and they do not allow traveler to go out of the plane without showing the health pass with QR code. Yes, even on the check-in at your country of origin, health pass will be checked. Health pass is very important because that is where you can access your swab test result. That is where you can access your Bureau of Quarantine if that is needed by your LGU on your final destination. So it's a one-stop shop app that you know. So like I said, uh when developing government has released the new countries for green, yellow, and red list, and with the cases rising up, today I think they logged 5,400 COVID-19 cases. So we were actually down to 100 plus. Now we are back to 5,400. And they say that it's still going to go up. It's still going to increase in the next few days, few weeks. So but hopefully I don't really see the Philippine government is going to do lockdown again. It's like they might do granular lockdown. When you say granular lockdown, they are doing it by LGU, for example, in your subdivision, in one block, somebody tested positive. They are going to cordon that block for that block not to be allowed to go out while they are isolating. So that's what meant with granular lockdown. I am so anxious to go see Phil probably by the end of this year. That's cool, Andy. I hope you enjoyed your stay in the Philippines. Online wedding is the US. It's not for all state. From what I heard, check your state you live in. If you use the Utah courthouse, uh, it's pretty much legal at Mike McGregor. Hello, Adi. I'm here in Manila waiting for the test results. I got swab at 11 a.m. yesterday. Can't wait to see my wife. Yeah, Wayne, just follow that link that I sent you. Enter your OSS number. That is your One Health Pass QR code and your last name. And you should be able to see if your results are in. I think you can also download your results from your phone, or you can ask the hotel if they can print it for you. Let me know if you need my help, Wayne. You know where to contact me. Is there new requirements for arrival in the Philippines? I'm coming from the US. It's pretty much the same. One health pass. I'm still gonna. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes whenever the Philippine government or the IATF has released new guidelines and no changes at all, um, I usually don't make a video because sometimes it tends to be repetitive. It's just the date that's changing. But pretty much for arrival protocols coming from the US, since US is on the yellow list, one house pass. Filipinos are allowed, dual citizens, former Filipinos or balikbayans are allowed, foreign nationals with valid and existing visa, the 72-hour negative RT-PCR test, which is mandatory, is still implemented. So you have to have it. You have to register through One Health Pass 3 days prior to your departure. So that's pretty much it. And make sure to book your hotel for quarantine. Make sure that you have a confirmed booking for hotels for quarantine. Nano FW po from hotel to final destination. Pwede po ba mag-bus o need private car? That's actually a good question. But if your means of transportation is bus, then go by bus. You will have to, I would ask the hotel or the Bureau of Quarantine, to be honest. Or you can ask your LGU what they require. I did tell you about 4 weeks ago and it's only as bad as cold. Yeah, you did, but the Philippines is taking it to another level. Why is it so difficult for a Filipino to go abroad in Thailand, for example? What is the best? I am a member of this one group, and somebody is generous enough over there to share her experience. First time traveler abroad, first time seeing her boyfriend, and she was able to leave the country, and she shared her experience, the documents that she prepared, and I am actually going to make a video on that way it would help others who are trying to go abroad to meet their other half. So please keep an eye on that in the next few days. Philippine government should provide food for its people. People are hungry, no jobs to support families and children. Omicron is much fatal than COVID. Tourism is a must if fully vaccinated. Yep, but sometimes when we don't have the power to do that, what's the meaning of SRRV? SRRV is Special Retirees Resident Visa. Any news about foreign tourists from the UK? Unfortunately, Nigel, foreign tourist is still not allowed. I'm actually watching President Duterte's talk to the people tonight, so I will review it later. Unfortunately, the foreign tourist is has no announcement yet on when is it going to open. So I hope that the present protocol won't change anymore. It's really tiring. It is tiring because are you kidding me? They could change it in a heartbeat. There are some Filipinos who are literally on the plane on their way to the Philippines, and the protocols has changed, and they have to follow whatever the protocol is by the time they land in the Philippines. Imagine that. That's so bizarre. It's like if the IATF keeps changing their guidelines and stuff, they should reconsider those who are traveling already, that they should be under the old guidelines, and those who are traveling 2 3 days after they have implemented this will have to follow the new guidelines. So it's I could understand the disappointment on that. What are the requirements if you have layover from different countries? Transit requirements po. It depends. Some countries requires transit visas, but some don't really require it. So wherever your wherever your layover is or wherever your transit is, make sure to check their government website or their airport if they really need a transit visa. Hi, and thank you for your channel, RT-PCR test. That's a blood test or swab test. How is it different from any other? Lot of things are new to me. My wife from the Philippines and she's going home. Mark, the 72 RT-PCR test, this is the swab test. They don't do the blood test. The blood test is the rapid antigen test, so that's not accepted. They need the swab, the nostrils, and the mouth swab. That's what they require. In April, we in the US. Thank you. Imagine protocol changes during your... Yes, nangyari yan, Nova. Means nasa himpapawid sila. One day protocol only in the Philippines. Tama yan, Viva. Yes, it's like, it's crazy. Us, VFAM is also a travel update vlogger. Us, travel updates vloggers, go crazy with our travel updates because tonight we would upload a new protocol. Tomorrow it changes again. Sometimes we get bashed because of that. And unfortunately, that's not even on our control as well because we don't really hold the power to change the protocols, and we only go by what the Philippine government or what the IATF is going to implement on this day or the next day and stuff. So our travel updates tends to change from time to time as well, basing on the Philippine government. So tama ka dyan, VFAM. Like Singapore po, I don't think Singapore is requiring transit visa. How long is your layover in Singapore, RL? Protocol change, 0 hour notice. Tama yan. Yes, that is really true. You need a vacation after all this. Thanks for all you do, Adi. I could probably use one, Jeffrey, but it's like just like right now, it's like looks like the Octa research said that looks like we are going to have a surge for Omicron by the end of this month. That's really scary. Though this virus, they said, according to CDC, is very mild. It's weak, just like they said. It's kind of like a respiratory, thing. It's just it's like a flu, So I'm really hoping that we can pass this already. You're welcome, Mark. Hi, Miss Eaton, Wayne Jens. Keep eye on your result swab test. Most people has positive results in quarantine hotel. I've heard about that there's a particular laboratory that does positive, false positive. And I'm really hoping none of those are going to experience. Though we can't really prove that they are doing that, but some are really doing that for the money. It's a shame that this all sums up to, you know, the money thing. So somebody is trying to call, and I don't know who it is. $408. What is 408 area code? San Jose, Clara. Where is that? North America. In US, we have big surge, but hospitalities and death are not like previous strains. This is actually great news. It's like, but you compare US to the Philippines, Nova. It's the Philippines is way behind the US. So the Philippine government act according his convictions and interests, but not about evidences and science. The fact it's Omicron don't kill you, but it's still more easy to make the life impossible. Like 3-4 hours po, okay sana pal because of their direct flight. But they are too stressful to deal with. That is why po I'm trying different airlines. Thank you for... It's like what's the thing? It's like, why is Philippine Airlines giving you a hard time on your flight? Because if I know Philippine Airlines, sometimes it's very disappointing and sometimes It's it's frustrating when flights gets canceled or there's all of a sudden change. But during this pandemic, it's like you want that direct flight because other Asian countries sometimes also declares guidelines, implementations, and you don't want to be stuck in a country that, you know, you're not supposed to be there. They're using fake PCR certificate, that's why. Oh wow. It's not even right. Happy New Year, Eaton Squad, and many thanks for all your help. Thank you so much, Nigel. Happy New Year to you and your family too. It's weird. My live says I'm only live for okay, I'm already live for 25. Addie, after my 5-day hotel quarantine in Manila, do I actually have to check in with LGU at final destination and then actually stay inside until day 14? That really depends on the LGU, but you have to let the LGU know that you are coming in or you're at least your barangay. I've heard there are LGUs that don't really care at all. There are LGUs that wants to know your temperature on a daily basis. You call them, you let them know that you are monitoring your temperature. There are LGUs that would literally go to your house and check your temperature. So it's a case to case basis. It's an LGU. It depends on your LGU how strict they implement the remaining days of home quarantine. Hi po, I've been waiting 2 years to enter the Philippines. I have a daughter in Doppler. North Core, Night Core. If you have a daughter in the Philippines, you are actually eligible to apply for a 9A visa. It my idol. I like the way you talking, hug. Thank you, Luz. Like I said, Night Core, if you have a child over here, even though you are not married to your partner, you can actually apply for a 9A visa. Or the LGU asked for pasalubong. Yeah, that's pretty much given. If I were you, I would prepare for it. You might bypass the home quarantine, you know. As bad as it sounds, the Philippines is all about bribe. I know it's like I know it's bad to say that, but for the 5th day swabbing, which lab is better po? Detoxicare for me. But Detoxicare is exclusive for Philippine Airlines. So, but I like Detoxicare because they have express result and they are accurate. So, unlikely to be the entire Philippines. Yeah, that like what I said. It's like the reason I came on live because like I said, I received a lot of messages. Some are freaking out that hey, will the Philippines going to undergo lockdown again? They might do they not probably whole lockdown, but granular lockdown. Like I said, granular lockdown is only a particular place is on lockdown. For like example, one of the streets in your neighborhood, somebody has tested positive in there. That particular street, the people on that street is not going anywhere until they are done with isolation. So that's what granular lockdown means. True, that's the reality. Prepare a pasalubong just in case they will accept your generosity. Yeah, it's like finally got my 9A visa arriving on January 27th. Thank God. Then on to Agusan del Norte after 5 days quarantine. Hooray, JD. Hooray. Safe travels to you. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. True. Yeah, it's all about the money over here. Like they said, money talks, bullshit walks. My friend Po is planning to travel with her girlfriend. Can they share a quarantine hotel room? They've been living together here in the US. As long as they are traveling together, they came from the same household. I don't really see why not they have to stay. They cannot stay in one room. The Department of Tourism is very adamant about it, that families that have traveled together, families that who came from the same household should be on the same quarantine room, or should be in one room in a quarantine hotel. So Secretary Puyat was very firm on that. And just in case, she said the hotel would require you to purchase two rooms, because they only they only allow one individual per room. Then you can report that hotel, because they've already said before that couples who travel together, came from the same household, can stay in one room. Happy for all your guidance and information. Thank you, JD. I wonder if it's difficult to get 9D visa. It means someone is hiring you for work in the Philippines. Oh, that's 9G. That's work visa. Actually, work visa is allowed to enter the Philippines. Those are one of those one of those category is actually allowed, but that has to be processed by the company who is hiring you. You can't process it on your own. So that, because since it's a work visa, the company that hired you is going to process that visa. Then that visa will be issued to you. Then you can come to the Philippines to work. We actually have a subscriber that went through that route. So yeah. Okay. The airline prices are so high and so expensive right now. Well, that has something to do with the travel cap as well, because the travel cap has not really changed since, despite the plea of airlines to increase it to 10,000 passengers per day capacity. So right now it's only at 4,000. Cebu used to be 200 per day, and only accepting Cebu residents, but that has been lifted, and non-residents of Cebu can now fly to Cebu directly internationally, and but they are on a limited capacity. I think 400 passengers per day. Is Japan on red list? I don't think Japan on red list. Japan was removed on the green list, and Japan is now on the yellow list, I believe. So, oh, RL, I think they are getting ready to serve her. I think she got arrested already. The first one got arrested. I know. The second one, because there's a second one. I actually have a video on that. There's a second one of the violator, quarantine violator. Actually, uh, what they call? I actually have a video on that quarantine violator. I'm just finishing the edits of it. Quarantine violator second is like she went straight to her condominium unit. She did not even bother to, stop by the hotel and stuff. So they will pay for the price. If you're willing to have like three stops, you can find cheaper tickets, but it's like 30 plus hour journey. Oh my god, that's a lot of. Good morning. Hope all is well with you and your family in the Philippines. Hey, TLM. How are you? I'm in the US, retired military, and over 65 years old. Can I begin the process for the SRRV from the US or do I need to be in the Philippines? Can they have changed that? They have changed the application on that. Before, you have to be in the Philippines to do that. Now you can actually do the initial application in the US. Then they will issue you a 9A visa so you can enter the Philippines and finish up your application. Having said that, you are a retired military, a veteran. So that's how much, Beb? $1,500
What?
for the SRRV, or 1,700?
For a veteran?
Mm-hmm. SRRV.
I believe it's 1,800 to apply for it.
Ah, okay.
That's
Okay
what
na po
Pop
ba ang
said.
Mactan? Pwede ba makalapag? Yes, open na po, Kabalyeho. Open na po siya. Nag-open na sila nung March. Ay, March? Open na sila today. Nag-open na sila today. Hang on, guys. Travel cap, please, government. That means PH immigration are not ready to handle travelers. Oh, when you ask the Bureau of Immigration, they are ready. They have even employed a lot more immigration officers for influx of travelers to the Philippines. So I don't see it. I don't really think it has something to do with the immigration why they're not opening for tourism yet. Yung mag-asawa po pwede mag-share ng room during quarantine? Yes, pwede naman po. Definitely. I would, if the hotel says you guys can't be in one room and you are husband and wife, I would throw a fit on that hotel, you know? Ang US po, ano po ba talaga color listed niya? Yellow list po ang USA, Miss Dolores. Do you think there are enough reasons to be positive this year about international tourism? Yes, of course. There's enough reasons. Just looking forward to be able to see the love of your life in the Philippines. When the Philippines first opened up for international tourism, I think it's good enough reason already, the deaf man, right?
What?
Do you think there are enough reasons to be positive this year about international tourism?
Oh, yeah.
Can you add any on that?
Election?
Oh, he said election. I wasn't expecting him to say that though. I'm good as always, staying hopeful the Philippines will open soon. It's been quite stressful, and all I can do is pray. Yes, pray, and for sure, it will be granted, TLM. At Kin Holy, I did exactly that. I applied for SRRV from the USA and received 9A visa with entry exemption document to fly to the Philippines and turn in SRRV. That process works. JD, since you opened that, when you do your initial application for SRRV, did you have to apply for a 9A visa separately and the entry exemption document separately? Or is that automatic already since you are applying for the SRRV? I hope you can share some information on that because other options of foreign nationals who are under the foreign tourist category, if you are 50 years old and above, your other option is the SRRV. Exactly, Mr. Eaton. Election may help get the country open. LGU age restrictions 18 to 65 make it hard to travel from Cebu to Ormoc and Tacloban. They still do the age restrictions. I think that was lifted already. Have to apply for EED separately, then apply for the 9A visa at the embassy. Oh, so if you don't mind, JD, what what were the requirements for? Oh, I wish I can interview you with that, no? I would love to interview you for information on SRRV. Is that the one that you applied for this trip? I know you are in quarantine, I believe, or did you just got your visa approved? Oh, you got your 9A visa. That's cool. So that was your option to go to. Hmm. Well, it's like, if you don't mind sharing, what were the requirements asked from you? I am responding an inquiry. Sorry about that. Will the Philippines accept Vietnam marriage to Filipina? I'm thinking about traveling to Da Nang, Vietnam, April 2022. Or you can get married anywhere, TLM. The most important process on that, when you get married abroad, is you have to file for the report of marriage. When you apply for the SRRV, they pre-process your SRRV. PRA sends EED to the appropriate consulate, then you can apply for the visa in person. 9A visa in person. Oh, so you don't even need to do anything with EED. It's kind of like automatic when you submit your requirements for SRRV to the Philippine consulate in the US. It's kind of like it's automatic that the EED will be processed to the appropriate consulate. Then you can apply for 9A visa. That's really cool. Is that correct, JD? Mm. Miss Eaton, do you know if Philippines is accepting foreign nationals for 9F visa student visas right now? I don't think they do the 9F. Have to apply for SRRV, make bank deposit, get medical apostilled, get police check apostilled, request letter for EED, then PRA sends EED request to DFA, DFA sends to consulate, the 9A in person. Oh, that's really good to know. So the make the bank deposit. So you really have to do the bank deposit first, have the receipt of the bank deposit, then that will be included in your requirements, correct? Because that's what Pops was asking, right? I will screenshot that. I will screenshot, or I will take a picture of that, JD. So I will not forget. And I forget to charge my phone. More and more, it's sounding like the Philippines might like lockdown once again. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I'm
No, I
very
don't believe
wrong.
the Philippines will go on
Yeah,
lockdown again.
even my husband don't believe they're going on lockdown. I don't think the Philippines can even afford to go on lockdown again. Especially the election is coming up. That has to have a budget. What's wrong? You're dizzy. That has to have a budget. So I don't really think they're gonna do that. I was thinking to apply to an inexpensive school if I have to. Just like I don't think the Philippines is issuing
Student
students
visas.
visas right now. No, I don't think so. Actually have to have receipt of bank deposit and yearly fees as well. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for that, JD. Tapos ka trabaho ngayon. Tapos ka trabaho ngayon, malamig dito din. Kaon ng watching you ako. Yeah, it's like we have friends in the US saying uh it's cold over there and I offer warm weather. It's like it's so hot in the Philippines.
They keep offering to send me the cold weather, but my wife keeps refusing it.
Here in Bulacan, they've started to downsize everything. Stores and all closed around. Oh my God, the the curfew is back, right? We have 15 minutes more, guys. I said 30 minutes. I've never learned. My life doesn't go as quick as 30 minutes. But we have 15 minutes more that I can answer your questions and oh my God, he's got more. The new variant is mild anyway, and it's also wiping out the Delta. Whenever there's new variant, it's wiping out the old. So, from Spain, muchas gracias. Salamat. God bless you. Thank you so much. What is muchas gracias?
Much thanks.
Oh, okay. Um, Forrest speaks Spanish a little bit, not so much. That's why I'm asking him what.
No habla español.
No habla
No habla
no
español.
habla español.
No habla inglés.
English.
Means I don't speak
He's
Spanish and I
actually
don't
not
speak
feeling
English.
well. He's actually not feeling well. So my baby is sick. Poor baby. Just seems to be an ongoing thing. Sometimes I think of that too. Thank you for your videos. Very informative. Thank you, Ken. Hopefully no lockdown. Had to wait for 1.5 years before being able to come back here. I know. It's like, well, the reason I went on live is because to those who just came on the show, the reason I went on live is because I received a lot of messages asking me, "Hey, Miss Addie, is the Philippines going on lockdown? Hey, Addie, I heard from somewhere that the Philippines is going on lockdown." There is really no announcement to that the Philippines is going on lockdown again. And I don't really think the Philippines is going to afford to have another lockdown again. They might do granular lockdown, meaning there are only certain areas that they are going to lock down. If, for example, one street somebody tested positive there, that particular street will be locked down and not the rest of the barangay of it. So that's granular lockdown. Pandemic, endemic, relax people, new variant, so friendly, haha. Greetings from California. Thank you for your updates. I'm missing my fiancé. Maraming salamat po. Hang in there, Raymond. Hopefully, you'll be able to travel to the Philippines again. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Want any questions via WhatsApp or Hey JD, my email is the Eaton Squad at gmail.com. I have a US phone I can call. I can call to with regards to SRRV. Is there any end in sight? I am engaged and been trying for a year to get there from the States. But even trying to apply for retirement visa is not getting any attention from the Philippine consulate. Huh. Why was that? JD is here. He actually went through the process of SRRV and just had his 9A visa approved. Hi Andy, what do you think? When will the Philippines open for fiancés to marry in the Philippines? We now all process to do it this year. I'm German and we stay together more than 15 months. Mm, it's like sometimes I hope the Philippine government would reconsider allowing those foreign nationals who are in relationship with a Filipino national, at least for those, because there are
Like a
some
fiance visa.
unfortunately the Philippines don't have a fiance visa, but I think it's really time for the Philippines to look into it because marriage plans have been on hold, and I wish they really look into that. But for your question, Wolfgang, it's like until the borders are open, fiancés, boyfriends will not be allowed to enter the Philippines just yet. 2 years in counting since I've been with my lady. Now with the new holiday explosion, who knows if it will ever go back to the same. I know it really sucks. I couldn't understand everything what the president was saying, but seems some restrictions in certain areas. It's like I went live and I wasn't able to finish his talk to the people, but I will rewatch it again. If there's any important information there, I will definitely let you guys know. Is Philippines Boba is the high risk level po? Yes, they said the Philippines is on high risk level again. We were at low risk, very low risk, but because of cases going up again, we are back on high risk. I tried sending donation for your computer, but the link you gave out a few weeks ago not work. I need the actual email you used for. Oh wait, I will send it to you. I will send it here, and you can try it. Here, Carlo. I will post it again, Carlo, for you. That's the link to the PayPal, Carlo. Hi, Addie. Thank you for all your videos. I'm now back in the Philippines, and tomorrow I'm going home, done with my 5-day quarantine. Yay, JC. Welcome home. Hi, do you think that there's any way to visit Cebu, maybe helping out after Typhoon Rai? Coming from where? Sorry po, pero di ko lang masyado magets logic ng di pag-allow ng tourist when they are allowing OFWs, balikbayan, and foreigners with kids or have spouse here. I mean, di po ba same lang din? I could understand your point, Delia, but only the Philippine government can really answer that. Here's the link, Carlos. That's the actual link. So, guys, any more questions? Or you can message me on Facebook, Carlos, if you need more information. 6 more minutes, guys. We can wrap this up. I will try to answer some questions in our page, in our Instagram, and I will try to edit a video. What time is it? It's 1 o'clock in the Philippines. So hopefully I still have the energy to do that. But I will do so. Coming from England, thank you. I have relatives there. That's more like a humanitarian thing. He wants to go to the Philippines to help with the typhoon victim, right? You can try applying for a 9A visa, Marius, under humanitarian category, right? Yeah, under humanitarian category. Actually, 9A visa has emergency, medical, humanitarian, and what was that other thing? That's something that you need to receive an award in the Philippines and you really have to be there. I forgot the term, but those are the categories of the 9A visa aside from the foreign parent, foreign child, or spouse of a Filipino national.
or an investor's visa.
Yeah, they have announced in the States that new variant is very mild like bad flu. Don't know why all the panic everywhere. The flu is also dangerous. How many lives have been killed with flu in the States every year? So, have nice good evening. Salamat po information. Magandang gabi. Thank you. You have to go through one of the approved PRA agents first, not to the Philippine consulate. Approved ones are on the PRA website. Some didn't charge any fees, they get paid by PRA. That's cool. I really appreciate your information, JD. That really helps our thanks. It worked now. May I ask what is it up to? What do you mean what is it up to, Carlos? The
The laptop fund.
We're at what? 400? I think we are at 400, I believe. Thank you so much for that, Carlos. Appreciate it. Bonchat Nation, it's more like a cold than flu. Oh, okay. Can you tell me, is the Philippines granting visas for foreign national spouses abroad wishing to visit their spouse? Yes, that's the 9A visa. You can apply for the 9A visa, especially if your wife is in the Philippines. So I actually have a video on that, Raymond, on the complete guidelines for applying for the 9A visa. But Philippine consulates in the States, starting January 1st, they have changed their steps a little bit. Before, you have to mail all the requirements. Now, you have to do it online first. They do the pre-approved. When it's approved, then you can send the original documents. I emailed you my US phone. Okay. Thank you so much. I will check that out. Maybe we can call him and ask. I will check the email if it went through. I think it went through. Are you using you okay, you're still in the US, JD. Oh, that's his number. Yeah, he said we can call him after the live. Thanks for that, JD. Appreciate it. You're welcome. Have a good one. Have to work now. Stay safe. Okay, if you guys, thank you. Thank you, Raymond. Okay, if you guys don't have any more questions, I think our 1 hour is up. We should wrap this up already, guys. Thank you so much. Don't worry. You will see me more on live to answer your questions. inquiries with regards to the travel updates in the Philippines, immigration process, and all that. And I thank you all for tuning in tonight. Maraming salamat po. Should be on the blacklist. Yeah, I know. It's like if you guys have urgency inquiries, concern on a particular travel update that you're confused of or you need help, you can direct message me in our Facebook page and Instagram. Same handle, the Eaton Squad. In your opinion, what is the downside of applying for the SRRV visa? Uh,
There isn't one.
okay. Husband said there isn't one.
I mean, with the 13A visa, the downside is if something happens to your Asawa,
Your wife, you're screwed.
basically you're screwed. With the SRRV, even if something happens to your Asawa,
You can still stay.
you can still stay in the Philippines.
Yep. So I hope that answers your question, Ken. Marius, thank you so much. You're very welcome. So this is it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you on our next live. And please keep an eye on our travel updates to the Philippines. I upload videos almost every day. I thank you all for tuning in tonight. Maraming salamat. I will see you next time. Stay safe. God bless. Bye.